Welcome to the Build Maker YouTube channel. In today's video, we will show you how one person, all by himself, builds his dream log cabin deep in the forest, from start to finish. No modern tools, just hard work, patience, and a story of struggle and friendship with nature. Watch the video till the end, because every step is filled with real-life experience and inspiration to learn from. So let's begin today's amazing journey. Alone in the middle of a remote forest, the man is pouring concrete to create strong beams for the cabin, which will support the entire structure. Before building the cabin, I am carefully removing the bark from the trees so that the wood stays clean and becomes strong and durable in the future. To prepare the wood, I first clean the surface of the logs using fire, then cut them to the correct size for building the cabin. To protect the cut sections of the wood, I am applying a special coating so that we can keep the cabin's foundation strong and durable for a long time. After applying the coating to the wood, I place each log in its designated position so that we can make the cabin's foundation level and strong. After placing the logs in their designated spots, I am aligning the beams so that we can keep the entire structure level and sturdy. Using ropes and a lever, we slowly lift the log, making sure the balance is maintained and the wood is not damaged. After lifting the logs up, I place each beam in the correct position so that we can build a strong foundation for the floor frame. To block cold air and seal the gaps, I place moss on top of each log so that we can have natural insulation. For the cabin's entrance, I am installing the door frame in the correct position so that we get a strong and straight opening. To strengthen the cabin's structure, I am lifting the heavy log and setting it upright in its designated position. I am checking the level from every angle and adjusting the log's position, because the strength of the entire wall depends on it. Standing on the ladder, I am lifting the long log above and placing it onto the beam position with full focus and caution. Climbing up to a higher position, I am placing the first roof log onto the upper frame so that we can define the shape of the roof. While installing each log, we carefully align the notches so that the roof's load is distributed evenly across the entire structure. We carefully lower the heavy mats and lay them out on the ground so that we can lift them up easily later. I plan the placement of each layer in advance because good insulation is the key to a long-lasting roof. After the roof frame is completed, I lift the large cover up and spread it over the top so that we can protect the entire structure. Once it becomes easier to work under the roof, I begin installing the floorboards one by one, maintaining the correct measurements and spacing. For the next stage of the wall, I drag the heavy log across the ground and bring it close to the floor frame. In this way, as each log is installed one by one, the cabin's structure becomes stronger and more well-defined. After placing the heavy log in the correct position, I am now preparing to cut the notches according to precise measurements so that the logs can fit tightly together. Using a chainsaw, I make cuts according to the required notch depth so that the log sits properly on the beam below. I carefully remove the excess wood to ensure the joint is clean and strong. To lift the heavy log upward, I am using ropes and a lever so that the work can be done safely even alone. By pulling slowly, we control the balance of the log to prevent it from shifting suddenly and causing danger. To ensure the log fits properly, I first clean the notch using an axe so that the joint can fit tightly. Then using a chainsaw, we cut the necessary sections so the log sits perfectly on the beam. After finishing the notch cuts, I push the heavy log into its correct position so that the joints lock firmly in place. Once the log is set, we fill the gaps in between with natural moss to prevent air or cold from getting inside. After placing the moss, I lift the upper log into the corner joint so that we can make the wall stronger, warmer, and more durable. To reinforce the door frame, I insert wooden pegs and hammer them in firmly so that we don't face any looseness or movement issues in the future. To lift the heavy log upward, I am using straps and chains so that we can safely and in a controlled manner install the next layer of the wall. After preparing the window opening, I am installing the wooden frame in the correct position so that we can have light, airflow, and a strong structure all together. To fix the floor beams, I measure the wooden joints and fit them in with a hammer so that we can create a strong, level, and long-lasting foundation safely here today. Even though I'm working alone, I carefully lift the boards one by one and place them in the correct positions, because when the floor is done right, the entire cabin becomes strong and remains safe for long-term use. After placing the moss, I carefully lift the upper log and set it onto the wall so that we can build a strong, warm, and long-lasting cabin without gaps. To lift the heavy log upward, I am using ropes, straps, and a lever so that we can safely install the next layer of the structure even while working alone. By pulling slowly, we guide the log up the ramp, making sure it doesn't suddenly slip and damage the wood below or cause injury. After placing moss inside each notch, we carefully lower the log so that it fits perfectly with the log below and leaves no chance for air to get in. Using chains and straps, I lift the heavy log and place it onto the wall so that we can work safely and properly complete the next layer of the structure. Standing on the ladder, I position the upper log in the correct place so that we can keep the wall height even and ensure the structure remains strong for many years. While placing the log alongside the window frame, we are being very careful because even a small mistake here could ruin the entire fitting in the future. To keep the work moving forward under the roof, I lift the heavy wooden beams and bring them inside so that we can build the upper structure securely, step by step. To complete the upper layer, I lift the heavy log and place it into the corner so that we can maintain the correct wall height and ensure the entire structure is evenly strong. To position the log properly, I first break away the excess wood inside the notch using an axe so that the fitting becomes clean, strong, and precise. Standing on the upper floor, I slowly pull the heavy log toward me so that we can place it in the correct position and build the roof structure securely. While working over the window and door openings, we handle everything with great care because even a small mistake here can ruin the beauty of the entire structure. To prepare the wood for the cabin, I carefully remove the bark from the trees so that we get clean, strong logs and avoid insect or rot problems in the future. To To lift the heavy log upward, I am using chains and a guide so that we can maintain control and safely place it in the correct position above the door. To stand the heavy wooden pillar upright, I support it with my body so that we can have a strong and reliable support for the upper structure. To ensure proper fitting, I first mark the measurements accurately so that we don't make any mistakes while cutting the logs and waste the wood. To lift the heavy wooden pillar upward, I am using a chain so that we can keep control and stand it upright in its designated position. Lifting the wooden beam from below, I pass it upward so that we can place it in the correct position and build the roof structure more securely. After aligning the sloped wooden pieces on both sides of the roof properly, I hammer in the nails so that we can build a strong and well-balanced roof structure. Using a rope and measurements, I adjust the angle of the sloped beams so that we can make the roof structure straight, balanced, and long-lasting. Using chains and belts, I lift the heavy ridge log upward so that we can securely connect both sides of the roof structure together. Climbing up, I hammer wooden pegs into place so that we can permanently lock the ridge log and secure the entire roof structure. Using the full strength of both hands, I lift the heavy beam upward so that we can keep direct control and place it in the correct position. First, I dig and prepare the ground, then set up the wooden formwork so that we can build the pillar base at the correct height, strong and stable. First, I mix the cement thoroughly, then pour it down using a bucket so that we can make the pillar base strong and durable. I pour the cement into the form and level it evenly so that we can make the pillar base strong, level, and fully ready for the future. I use an axe to clean and level the end of the log so that we can fit the corner joint perfectly and ensure the wood sits properly. I am fixing the bottom part of the log using a metal plate and bolts so that we can securely and safely connect the wood to the concrete base. Using chains and manual control, I lift the heavy log upward so that we can place it at the correct height and complete the cabin structure more securely. Precise holes are drilled into the wooden log and wooden pegs are inserted, ensuring the entire structure remains strong, durable, and safe for a long time. Another log is carefully placed on top of the wooden beam, aligning perfectly with the notches to make the structure strong and well balanced. Without using ropes or machines, the heavy wooden beam is lifted by hand and placed in the correct position, where hard work, skill, and experience come together. To achieve a perfect fit on the solid wooden beam, the excess parts are carefully cut away with an axe so that the upper log can sit properly. The solid wood is cut and leveled so it fits properly on the roof. When each board is installed according to precise measurements, the roof becomes strong and durable for many years. One by one, wooden planks are being placed on the roof, and by maintaining the correct angles and balance, the entire structure becomes safe and durable. Built by hand in the heart of nature, this wooden cabin takes shape as each beam and plank is fitted perfectly, creating a strong, beautiful, and long-lasting roof. Using a hand chisel, precise notches are carved into the wooden beams so that each piece fits tightly and the roof structure remains durable for a long time. Natural oil is being brushed onto the wooden pieces so that the wood remains durable for a long time and is protected from moisture and insects. After installing the roof boards, a waterproof membrane is laid for protection so that rain and moisture cannot penetrate the wood and the roof remains durable for a long time. Wooden planks are placed on top of the waterproof membrane so that the roof structure becomes stronger and a solid base is created for installing the final roof layer. The rafters are carefully installed on top of the solid wooden structure so that the roof slope is correct, and the next layer of wood can be installed easily. I cut the wood for the roof so that the rafters fit properly and the entire roof structure remains strong and well balanced. The rafters are installed step by step so that the roof structure becomes strong and the proper support is created for the next layer of covering. After cutting the wood, oil and natural paint are now applied with a brush so that the wood becomes stronger and can withstand outdoor weather conditions. I carefully lift the prepared pieces of wood and place them onto the roof so that they fit properly with the frame and leave no gaps later. I arrange each piece of wood evenly to complete the roof structure, making the entire roof strong and visually appealing. Using a ladder, insulation is carefully installed step by step on the roof so that the wooden structure stays protected and a long-lasting roof can be built. Insulation boards are installed inside the wooden roof frame so that the house stays warm in winter and cool in summer, making it durable and comfortable. Holding each piece by hand, the wood is placed onto the roof one by one, keeping accurate measurements so that the entire structure is strong and no problems arise in the future. A waterproof sheet is laid over the roof, and wooden battens are installed on top of it so that rain or moisture cannot enter in the future. Standing on the roof, the wood is carefully fitted with a hammer, with each frame measured and installed so that the roof is strong and durable. Sheets of metal roofing are slowly installed on top of the solid wooden frame so that the wooden house remains protected from rain, sun, and storms for a long time. After a long time of effort, patience, and hard work, all the construction of the large house is finally complete, and today a fully finished and strong home stands here. Working alone from start to finish to complete the construction of this large house was not easy, but today all that hard work truly feels worthwhile.